Anyway, residents have come together. Next story it is. Residents have come together to save the last surf beach in Dubai by collecting cigarette filters. Now, there is nothing like the Dubai community when something is in need of aid. The flock of conscious residents will be there and try their best no matter what. Now, there's the last surf beach in Dubai, and beachgoers are coming together to create a movement to save this beach along with other like-minded individuals. So what's the mission? Saving the last surfing beach in Dubai, one cigarette filter at a time.
Straight. Cigarette filters may be tiny, but be warned, they are lethal, environmentally lethal, that is. So Earth Day says that cigarette butts or filters make up most of the plastic waste in the world. Now think about that, that is gross. About 4.5 trillion individual butts pollute this planet's environment.
Now that's a huge number, and not a lot of people are aware that these butts are primarily made of plastic, not cotton or paper.
And
you didn't know?
I didn't know.
Oh. Well, you learn something new every day. Cigarette filters can take up to 10 years to completely disintegrate. However, the chemicals released in these butts themselves can stay in the environment for far longer than the filter's life itself.
But this was a super cool community volunteering initiative this weekend. Between 50 and 70 volunteers managed to clean up 40,000 cigarette filters on the beach by the Burj Al Arab in 45 minutes. That's got to be a record. But this isn't the final set of numbers. The community that's helping take part in this keeps growing and is always looking for more volunteers.
So all you have to do is DM Marta_sustainable on Instagram to take part in the curricular economy program.
Have they a sieving technique?
I mean,
that's a big number of butts in 45 minutes.
That's when there's a will, there's a way.
I took part in a beach cleanup in Dubai a year or two ago, and it was down on a beach that's actually closed to the public. So it's a environmentally preserved area, a nature conserve.
Okay.
Which means it doesn't have the kind of human basic pollution that you might see from like people going to the beach every weekend. Mm-hmm. This is just pollution from waves coming in and out. And my Lord, did we find so much. Like we were there for I guess like an hour and a half. Everyone came back with bags and bags of stuff. Like it was just so shocking for a beach that's cleaned regularly. So these types of cleanups happen there week on week. No humans there polluting, but it's just the waste that comes in from the waves. And we literally collected you couldn't carry the stuff back to our kind of like main meeting point. It was just crazy, and it was all plastics, like so much beauty waste. I couldn't even find cigarette butts actually because that's probably like ingrained in the sand, but like tarpaulins, just crazy.
Humans are disgusting. Yeah. I mean, the moral of the story is just stop smoking, like quit smoking altogether. But if you can't, at least dispose of your cigarettes properly. The number of people, like it is so revolting. Like they smoke and then they just stamp out their cigarettes on the street. No regard to the environment, no regard to animals, no regard to strays. Why are you looking around? Am I off on a rampage?
Yep.
Just, throw it in the dustbin. It's like, especially in Dubai, there are dustbins like every couple of kilometers. It's not like you really have to scout to find a rubbish bin. No, it's not the case in Dubai. So, I mean, just take that little effort and throw it in the bin,
Speaking of throwing it in the bin, and then earlier we were speaking about the desert, like that's one main thing. Like there's specific places in Dubai that I've noticed, when you go out to the desert and there's an area that's quite near Al Qudra. Mm-hmm. I did a desert pickup there actually with Adidas Run for the Deserts a while ago, and oh, this amount of waste. And like if you're going out and like leave anything the way you found it, I think we all obviously must be guilty, because I feel like I leave everything the way I found it, but at the same time, like the amount of waste that you find, like we must be unknowingly leaving stuff behind. But some people are leaving their barbecues behind. They're leaving their bottles and their food waste and the packages from the night before and their coffee cups that they're flinging out the window, and you're like, wow, that's not great.
That's so true. And you know what? In Dubai, at least it's better. People have a conscience here, right? But when you go back to your own country, I think we've mentioned this so many times, you just see how ridiculous mindsets are, because it's like as soon as you're back in your own country, you literally, like there's no tomorrow. Like you don't even take a minute to see who does?
We do, or you notice it?
Like, I notice it. Like, see, when I've grown up here, so of course we have that mindset of like not littering at all and just like, using a waste bin, all those things. But then when I travel back home, or anytime I've traveled even to European countries or anywhere, like on vacation with family or friends, you just notice like mindsets completely change. Like people just go back to, like as if they were never instilled, that was never instilled upon them to like use a waste bin. So it's just like chucking things out the car window, like, just making a mess, like not bothered about the environment or society or anything. So I think we just have to be so much more mindful of that.
Yeah, and the new initiative coming in on July 1 about charges versus plastic bags, like these are all small steps and small reminders to us to be more sustainable. But if you want to take part in those beach cleanups, DM Marta at Sustainable, that's MARTA at Sustainable on IG to take part in the Circular Economy Programme. We are getting so many DMs